Welcome to a new video from the Parts channel. Well, I'm going to make a short video, but I find it very interesting. Surely you have never seen anything like it. They have brought us a Ford Focus 1600 injection, this one you see here, and the problem the car had was what the owner told us, that suddenly, while it was driving, the engine stopped and it didn't want to start again. The workshop brought it to us by tow truck, and the first thing we did was been putting the diagnosis machine's UIEs, and no fault has come up. So what we have done was check that fuel was reaching the engine. But when checking if power was reaching the spark plugs, we saw that it was not reaching it. It could be a problem with the ignition coil, but we have gone further, and we have checked to see if current was reaching the ignition coil, and it was not receiving current. And there it could already be a problem with the wiring or with the ECU, which, for some reason, it did not send a signal. And it did not send current to the coil. On. But the owner of the car had already told us that for a few days, he had noticed that the clutch was slipping. So, now you have an idea of where the problem could come from. I'm going to explain it to you. Look, now we've gone directly to the part that is in contact with the engine flywheel, and which is the crankshaft position sensor, the one you see here, and which is completely destroyed. It is missing half of the pieces. Look, you see the pieces of plastic there that they are on the right. They are parts of this sensor. Now, I am going to compare it with another sensor that we have in the workshop, and which is identical. You see everything it is missing. The problem that has happened, look that all of this should be inside the sensor. These sensors have a coil inside, and this one was outside. We have extracted that from there, from behind the engine flywheel. It has monomass there. You see the copper. From there we extracted all that. It was destroyed, but if it had been a 3-pin sensor, normally the diagnosis machine will notify you. But with the 2-pin ones, sometimes it happens that you don't get any fault there. Here experience influences even if you look, the clutch is not centered. The clutch disc has moved, and this has been because, as the owner already told us that the clutch had been slipping for a few days, what happened is that when the clutch slipped, the engine flywheel dilates excessively. Then, by having this dilation, what happens is that it comes into contact with the crankshaft position sensor and destroys it, and that is why the car has stopped suddenly. As long as the ECU does not know the position of the crankshaft, what it does is stop sending current to the ignition coil. It also usually stops sending fuel to the pump. Also, depending on the car, and as I say, in some engines which only have 2 pins, the crankshaft position sensor, no failure is recorded. So this is worth experience here because we have already seen this before. Although it is not common to see a crankshaft position sensor destroyed like this, but on other occasions that we have seen it, it has always been the same reason. The clutch disc slips. You can see that the clutch disc is very worn. Then it starts to slip and creates excessive heat. This causes the flywheel to expand excessively and ends up destroying the crankshaft position sensor. We have already told the car owner that he also has to change the clutch because it is very worn. Well, here you have this short video. If it has been useful to you, then don't forget to give a like and subscribe to the channel.